one thing that we have in common that I've heard you mention a couple of times is our love for Kanye.
Yeah, I love Kanye West. He'll never do no wrong in my eyes.
Right, and you know he has his moments.
He'll never do no wrong in my eyes.
We ain't even gonna touch on that. We're gonna stick to him as an artist because I think you're an artist, a true artist as well. That's why I wanted to include that in the intro. Of I see how important the artistry of it is to you. So tell me about what do you admire about Kanye? What are some things that maybe you learned from him?
Passion and pain, and converting pain into experience, converting pain into song. A lot of what Kanye does is as you know, controversial as it can be, a lot of people still gravitate to it. Yeah, that's the like people can say or you know make these jokes or all these things about Kanye, but you cannot replace experience, and Kanye gonna give you an experience every time. Yeah, and that's what I'm big on. It's like, how can I create an experience? How can I and create a world to where people, how meta it sounds, but how can I create a world to where people feel like they can walk into this and feel like they're a part of something? You walk into a Kanye venue, you walk to a Kanye show, it's an experience. It don't look like nothing you ever been at before. It's not your typical venue stage setup and all this. Everything looks different because he's championed it around an experience rather than just being a concert. Even his clothing, it's an experience rather than just, oh, it's gonna look like a regular Adidas shoe or a Nike shoe. Like, this is something that I feel like people have to advocate for. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you can put on like a Letterman jacket in a sense. But yeah, even on my Letterman jacket, I had Kanye's son on that was the back of my Letterman jacket instead of my last name. Dang. Yeah, because I've been a Kanye fan ever since because like, man, it's seeing how much passion he puts into the music, especially the creativity part. You'll see a lot of behind the scenes stuff of him just screaming and yelling and stuff like that. Right. I'm not like super, you know, like that. Like, oh, you're screaming at the engineer and screaming at the producers. But I am that level of meticulous. Like, we're not putting this out. We're going to spend another 8 hours if we got to do. I've spent, for one song, I probably spent like 72 hours just mixing it, just getting it, coming back to, I spent 4 days straight coming back to the studio, just mixing the record. Yeah. That's it, just to ensure that this level sound right, these notes sound right, the panning sounds correct. Because to the average listener, they're not going to care about that. But when it comes to people like y'all going to hear those things, and that's going to make a difference. Right. That's the hill that we're trying to get over.
Yeah. for up and coming artists, I listen to a lot of up and coming artists. I listen to a lot of bad music.
Yeah. The quality is bad.
A lot of and bad maybe not be the correct. I listen to a lot of maybe immature music that's not all the way there. And one of the first things I notice when I can tell that it's someone who's not all the way there yet is the mixing, is the production, is that sound that's like,
something's there that's making your ears perk up a little bit. Yeah. I want to make sure everything, like when you hear it, when other, you know, music advocators, when they hear, I want to ensure that, because they're going to be the people to notice. You guys are going to be the people to notice. And that's who I care more about, you know, in all honesty. It's like the people who actually care for the music, the people who actually love music so much that they can hear those imperfections. They can hear, it's like looking at a diamond. Like, you know, if you're a real jeweler, like, you can put something on a microscope, it's like, oh, and start to noticing. If you're not a real jeweler, every diamond gonna look flawless to you. You know,
that's a good point. these just radio diamonds. You making the diamonds for the real people.
Yeah, I'm making the diamonds for the people who gonna put it under the microscope, who gonna try to find the imperfections, who gonna try to find the things that could be improved. Because I love constructive feedback. Yeah, I love when people come back and be like, "Oh, bro, you need to turn this level up, turn this down. Like, oh, that sounds too loud, or don't ever do that again, or that was weak, or the mix here kind of sounds weird. Change it." I love hearing that because I love iterating. So it's gonna make me make the next thing sound better than the last thing. Right. Going back to what I originally said.
Yeah, well, myself and my ears appreciate it because I listen to your album a lot and your past albums, and I don't, you know, this show isn't about giving people feedback. I only invite people up here that I like their music, so that part is already done. But like I said, my ears definitely appreciate you taking that effort and taking that upon yourself to make sure it's that quality. Speaking about moments and creating a moment, I see that you like to kind of have that interaction with fans to make something big and make the music meaningful and relate to them in a way. When do you start thinking about that as far as what moment it would be? Is that like before the song's even being written? Is it closer to the actual release of the song?
I think it's when the song is being written. I'm doing a lot of like, I'm very meticulous about that. I'm doing a lot of like, when I'm writing a song, working on a song right now called Stare, and it's basically like you can look, but you can't touch, like at your woman. Like, this is mine, don't stare type thing.
Okay.
So it's like I'm trying to create the experience around that. Like, if I were to take my woman to the club, or if I were to take my woman out to dinner, and she, you know, like when men start to notice her, I was like, all right, try me if you want to.
Right.
and I'm creating that experience like now, so that way when I translate it into written lyric, it makes sense.
So you're already thinking about the visuals that you're gonna have attached to that. I can already see it. I can see the slide deck.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm thinking a lot of that through prematurely, just so that way it makes sense. Like I said, it always goes back to, does it make sense? Can people actually relate to this? And it's not just my experiences. I'm speaking for a lot of other black men, because, you know, a lot of other black men got some bad men, especially in Houston. So you want to make sure that, okay, you can look. Don't approach her though. Right.
Like, be respectful.
Be respectful. That's all it is. Just that's the whole song. It's just being respectful. Like, this is mine. This is what I have. You can look, buddy, but stay over there.
Right. I like that. How do you? I feel like with the music industry, I feel like a lot of people who are entrepreneurs in general know this, and in media know this, that a lot of people don't support until they see other people supporting. What is your strategy, or how have you continued to turn listeners into supporters?
For me, bro, I'm big on God, bro. It's like, it's gonna come when it come, and if it don't, it don't. I don't want to be famous. That's never been my intention.
Yeah.
I do this for the love of music. I think I do this for the passion that I have for music. So God willing, if it, you know, that converts into fame, so be it. I'll embrace it, because that's the position that He put me in. But I always tell people, even when people DM me, like, bro, you should have so much more listeners. You should be like, your music could compete with these people. I'm like, it could. And I feel like I'm even better than those people that you mentioned.
Right.
But for me, bro, it's just like, God gonna put me where I need to be, exactly when I need to be there. And if He don't, I didn't need to be there.
That's a fact, and I'm looking at it from the aspect of you already. I know a lot of people, we have this thing where we're always saying, okay, what's next? And getting to that next goal. One, I like your answer of, hey, it's God's purpose. When it comes, it comes. I'm just making the music and trying to make timeless music.
That's it. That's the whole goal.
Right. But do you take time to also appreciate to where you are right now?
I do. I think, just being, I try to say this as humbly as I possibly can. I think I'm probably one of the best and biggest R&B artists in the city right now. A lot of people come to me in terms of shows and opening up, and a lot of people come to me in terms of like just getting music advice, or they see how I do things, and they're like, oh, I love how you do your rollouts. I love how your music videos come out. And I give them the sauce. I'm like, I kind of take the Lil Russell approach, if you're familiar with Lil Russell.
Absolutely.
But I just feel like it's best to just teach people that you don't need a lot of resources to do these things. Shoot a music video in your closet, shoot a music video in your living room. You don't got to go out, even step outside your home to create quality stuff.
Right.
But that's the thing I like to do. I sit back and I appreciate where I am, and I do that in the appreciation of music. It's not in the appreciation of stardom or fame. It's just because I love this so much that I want everything around me, the people that I associate, I want them also to be at this same level.
Yes.
I want them also to be able to put out quality music, to be able to say like, oh, I can do that, and it's just as easy. You don't got to have this super large, gargantuous budget to make things happen. So I do take some time to appreciate it, but the most thing, man, is just honoring God. I feel like I said, God gonna put me there when I need to be there, and if He don't, man, I just really didn't need to be there.
It wasn't His plan.
Yeah.